Hey guys, this is Ian from Beard Mountain, coming to you straight from my bathroom. And I just wanted to make a video today about trimming. Trimming is controversial because a lot of guys with awesome beards will tell you that it's against the law to trim. But it's not, and it's a great way to keep a beard if you don't have incredibly good beard growing genes, because it lets you almost fake having a good beard. So a lot of the trimming stuff that I see, questions coming across online and the questions people ask me, are kind of around the same way that I already trim my beard, but it's going to vary from person to person because everybody has a different beard. So you're going to have to take whatever you see here and apply some of it and let some of it go, because some of it's not going to have anything to do with you, and kind of mix and match. That being said, I hear people quite a bit that are like down on somebody else's beard, but they think mine's okay because I keep it up, right? So I'm going to share that with you today. All you need to do this, and sorry if the sound, video, any quality is not good. My production crew is off today. All you need to do to trim in this speedy and easy way, you need a comb, and I have a couple of combs. And depending on how you like to do it, this one you can see kind of has like a little bit of a curve on the back, and that can be useful. And then this one here is a little straighter. And I kind of like the straight one, but I don't feel uncomfortable kind of doing things manually if I need to make a little bit of a curve in the line. And then I have a couple of pairs of scissors, and these are actually medical scissors that I got from when I worked at a medical supply distributor. And they're pretty good. They're super sharp. They're like a surgical scissor almost. So, and then this one here, I don't even know what it is, but it's got that little notch right there that's actually really nice when it comes to trimming like single hairs. Razor, not a fancy one. I like to spend my money on fishing licenses and things like that. And then a cheesy little electric trimmer, which could be hair clippers too if you want. So anyways, first thing I do, and it helps also if you have like one of these, which is basically the same as multiple mirrors. We lucked out and had one of these in our house. So, but if you don't have some kind of cool bendy door mirror on your wall, you can just get one of those little stand-up mirrors that they sell all over the place, probably at Walmart, I don't know. Anyways, so let's get started. So what I do first is I come in here with the comb and knock this out. This is where that mirror comes in handy, because what you do is you get like a straight line coming down from your sideburns, and then you basically just use the comb as a template. See, and then you got that just coming straight down, and it just cleans it up. And the thing is, I've noticed a lot of what people think is kind of a nasty puby beard thing is what grows in around here that kind of stretches the beard back. And I've never been into that anyways. That's why I started trimming in the first place, is because I didn't like the whole battle axe beard ball thing coming out over here. And it just doesn't look good on me. I mean, it looks awesome on some people to have that huge, like, massive beard. But if you don't have that going for you, then you can't make it happen on your own. So anyways, so I would just do that, and I'll just do both sides. And you can see on this side, it comes out a lot more, and that's kind of what I'm knocking off. And my beard doesn't really necessarily grow naturally this way. I've just been trimming it this way for a while. So you kind of line it up in the mirror where you want it to be. Get a straight line going down there. You see how I got that kind of sectioned off there. Once you got it where you want it, don't use the mirror to shave or to trim or whatever you want to call it. Go back to the regular mirror, or just by the sensation of touching the comb. So there's the after. And that's kind of the first thing I do, because it kind of sets the tone. So when you come in here and you want to, when you do this, you end up with like a, most of the time, depending on how your beard grows, the lines will come in and they'll end up being like a corner. And then what I like to do is kind of round that off so that it just looks natural. Because I'm all about the natural look. I don't want to look all sharp, cleaned up, crazy. I like it to look natural, but I want it to look clean too. So and seriously, take your time with this. Especially with electric trimmers, they can just like wipe out an entire beard in seconds. So don't go crazy, don't get in a hurry, give yourself some time. I've been putting off doing this video for like weeks because I knew I needed the time to do it. And the iPad's busted. But so now you kind of got your lines coming down. As you come around this corner, you can just go through here too and just clean up everything along here. This isn't really noticeable anyways, and it's not, if you don't have an issue down there, don't worry about it. But it's always good to just have your lines clean, because that's really like 80% of what people notice are these lines. Your cheek lines, your jaw lines, your mustache. Everything that's the outline of your beard is like 80% of what makes it look the way it looks. So then you got the other 20% is just this little bit of extra that's kind of loose. So cleaning up the lines is your first priority, and trimming that way is the way that you add length and keep it trimmed, which is something that other people are usually interested in too. So anyways. And just check it out. Take it easy on the trimming. Like I said, I mean, it ain't a race, and then also, you know, don't go as far as you think you need to, and then check it out. And if you want to go farther, because you can always do more. And this isn't the super visual part. A lot of it's still right in here on these corners, but that wraps under, and it is something that you can kind of see from different angles. And that's one thing about trimming the beard that comes into play, is that you need to consider your beard, and that's what this helps a lot with this, is that you need to consider it basically in 3 dimensions. And most of the time when you're looking at it in a picture or in the mirror, you see it from just a couple of angles, and this helps a lot, and trimming helps you to get an idea of kind of all the different angles you can get on your beard. So most of the time what I'll actually do is I'll just use this to get under here, because it's kind of just a unnecessary part. Anyways. Alright, so we basically got that. Now what I'll do is I'll do the cheek lines, which for me, I'd go on like an average. So you don't go all the way down. Don't like find the lowest spot where you have a full beard thing going on. You want to kind of shoot a straight line between where that full part starts and then where you have those weird extra ones way up here, you know? So you want to kind of like, and actually I think in the video, looking at the iPad here, you can kind of see almost where that is, where it just kind of, because your brain connects those points anyway, so you don't, trying to make a straight line in your beard is counterproductive, because you'll never get it and you'll make it lower than it needs to be. So And you don't even really need to use the comb. Like, you don't even need to use a guide for this, but it is good if you haven't done this before, because more than anything, it keeps you from slipping and going down too deep. So if you set a line with this and then you're just following it as a guide, it'll give you a straight line and it'll keep you from screwing up. Yeah. So just like that. Easy peasy. And you are kind of going for like symmetry, obviously. But the big thing is that to me it's got to still look natural, and you're most likely your beard isn't growing in symmetrical anyways. Your face isn't even symmetrical. So you're really going for balance. You're not going for perfect symmetry. And that's what a lot of people try and get into, figuring out ways to do exactly the same thing in exactly both sides. And the mustache is the perfect example of that. I don't know if you want to even get this close to my face, but I mean, this isn't even growing in it's not even the same on both sides. So you balance it out, you know, but you're trimming it differently on both sides to get it balanced. So kind of something to think about. So that's the cheek lines. Simple enough. Now, I trim the mustache. I got issues with the mustache. It gets irritating for me to have it coming down over my lips. I've grown it out quite a bit in the past and still never really got past that. So to me, it's just, I mean, why even bother? It's more important to me to keep the beard than it is to be uncomfortable and prove a point that I don't have to trim. So, and that's kind of why I made this video, is because there is options. You know, you don't have to keep everything just because you want something. This is your beard. You do what you want. Alright, so you kind of brush it down a little bit, and I did kind of run a comb through all this before I actually started making the video, so keep that in mind. So what I'll do is I'll just run along and kind of get it right at the line, the top of my lip, right? Except for in the middle, because that's got that little dip and there's kind of a crack there anyway, so. Probably get some hair in your mouth a little bit too. That sucks. So there you have it. Almost. And you just kind of, as you go, figure it out. I end up with hairs kind of just like at the top of the mustache coming out like this, like a catfish kind of. So I'll knock those off. And you know, scissors were good for this too, but the trimmer is just so fast and easy but you got to go slow with it, or you can kill it, seriously. So take your time with it, but it is nice to just like move it straight across and you just create like a plane, you know. And with scissors you can have to work it a little bit and go back. But all of this is it's like making a bonsai, right? You're not trying to do anything crazy. It's just these little tiny changes. And I think, you know, trimming yourself is the way to go. Especially if you just do it from the get-go. Then you kind of learn it as you go. And you you get to know your beard, because you don't need to know how to trim everybody's beard. You just need to know how to trim your own. And that's what I'm good at here. So again, this is like a micro version of the beard, because what you're doing is you're kind of doing the lines around the outside. Now, I kind of like the length a little bit on the ends, which can get a little tricky when it starts getting super long, because I kind of keep it short, right? So you get this like super long ends on a beard. Looks like you got, or a mustache, it looks like you got pigtails on there or something. So then I'll go back through, and when it comes to trimming the mustache, what I try and do is try and do this from the side here, but you have like, your hair kind of comes down this way, right? And so what you want to do is, to clean it up, here, do this one, is you want to kind of trim it so that the hairs all kind of taper this way. Oh, you can't even see that. So you get, yeah, like that. And what they grow as is just like a big kind of broom type of thing. So you aren't necessarily just trimming them all uniformly to come out of your face like this. You want to kind of have a plane there where they meet. Like that. Perfect. So, scissors are a really good way to do this, but you can do it with a trimmer once you kind of have it down. I still do like to use the scissors. But see, I'm not afraid of not having it perfect, and kind of, if something bothers me about doing this today, I'll just come back and fix it tomorrow or tonight, whatever. Because this is like a lifestyle thing, right? That's what bothers me about these people that say, no, don't trim it, don't grade before you trim anything. Trimming's for the girls. And I just don't buy that, because it's a lifestyle, you know? It's not something that you just do until you can't handle it anymore, and then you're done. Which is kind of what you set yourself up for when you buy into the whole, like, well, I'll never shave. And then you do. Because you will. At some point you will. You'll have to. You know, you'll have like nose surgery or whatever. My boss got in a motorcycle accident a while back, and they shaved his beard off because he had a big old gash on it. You know, stuff happens. So don't let other people decide how you live the beard. So that's basically it with cleaning up the lines. Now, when it comes to cleaning up the length of it, this is where you want to do as little as possible. Some people like to keep the beard a uniform length, or like the same length. They like to trim it back to kind of keep it what it is at that point. And usually that's shorter than this anyways, so you're just doing the same thing, but pretty much just cleaning up the lines. And then a lot of the times people will use like a hair clippers for that, with just one of the guides on there, and that ain't really a good idea, because what you do is you're making all the hairs the same length, but they grow out of your face at different angles. So you have different angles, all the same length, and it can give you this weird look on your face. So anyways, scissors are a great way. But again, if you're doing what I'm suggesting here, clippers will also work. Because all I want to do, and this is where it probably matches most of the other trimming videos out there, is that all I really want to do is just knock down the weird stuff. Like, let's see if I can get some out of here. Alright, so, let's see. So you got like all this, you know, you can see it in there. Just kind of, and then see, this is what I'm going for too up here. You want it to like fade. You want it to move into the shapes. It's the big drastic changes in length that are noticeable and make it look goofy. So for that kind of stuff, like up here, I do like to use scissors because, and don't talk while you're trimming. I do like to use scissors for that because it is just more control, less easy to screw up. And you don't want to screw up. It just sets you back, you know. You gotta like grow it out again. More than anything, it just makes you depressed because you screwed up. People probably already give you a hard time about your beard, and then you go and screw it up. Which is not a good deal. Anyways, so yeah, you can see there. See how that just like more uniform, and then when you comb it down, when you brush it down, it'll be even more that way because you've knocked out the stuff that's really making it look off. Now, this in here, the chin part generally is also almost like a different, it's like the goatee area. It's a different zone, like it grows in separately than this stuff. You know, even though it's all one beard, there's like different areas, kind of like the mustache, where it just does its own thing. And making it all work together is kind of the whole purpose of this thing. So, anyways, so on this side, I'll just go ahead and use the scissors. And see how I'm like, you've got to get different angles on it because you can't see all these different areas. You can't see all the different stuff from just looking straight at it. So you want to take a look. And a lot of weird stuff will hide under here too. And it's not a big deal because for the most part nobody sees it. But if you, this here on your neck, right where it almost hits the jaw, it'll start growing hairs. And if you don't trim it at all down here and your neckline is low, it'll all blend together and then you don't have this like Leonidas thing going on. You'll just have like a bubble coming out, right? But if you have this kind of beard where your natural neckline, I mean, you saw mine, it's only down to like here. So I would have this kind of thing. If you have any kind of length, then you end up with a gap here. But you can end up with hairs here that just kind of grow down and don't really do anything. And they can get long because they're growing same as your beard, but they're like isolated on your neck by themselves. They just, be aware of those. Anyways, so on this side I'll just go ahead and just like knock it off with the clippers real quick to give you an idea of that. But all you do there is you just move it along that line and don't push it because a lot of times these clippers will push the hair if you go too fast. So you just want to kind of like move it along almost like a hedge trimmers if you've ever had to trim hedges with one of them. So that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more on the do as little, if you're looking to add length, do as little as you can around these edges. Like the very, you know, you see how mine here, it's got like a point to it almost. Avoid trimming that because that's where the length is the most noticeable. So you can still trim all these strays, all this weird stuff that grows out from your face, or just not even out from your face, obviously, just out from the rest of the beard. But you can trim all that back and avoid trimming the real length as much as you can. And you'll continue to add length because you're just knocking those little strays down instead of like trying to bring it all the way back, just like the cheek line. Instead of trying to bring the whole beard all the way back to like the fullest perfect point, you want to just bring it back to where the average of that is. All right. So that's about it. One last little spot that I've noticed is kind of like a sleeper spot on mine. But see, I don't have like in here and here, and even, I I wasn't born with an awesome beard. That's why I started making beard lotion. But I do red in here too. See that? That kind of junk that grows in there. I'll just like knock that down pretty good. Because it just kind of lends to the natural fading of the beard away from the mouth. And this doesn't bother me or anything. It's not like the mustache where I end up not liking it. It's just something that I think looks a little more cleaned up. Alright, so made a terrible mistake and forgot to bring my beard potion up here to put some in. But you could go with, I'm going to go take a shower after this because I don't like having hair all over me. But, and I would suggest the same for anyone else. But after the shower, of course, I'll put some beard oil in, and that really always helps keep it neat and uniform, healthy, all the good things in life that you want for your beard. And kind of comb it down, and then look for any little strays that you might have missed. A lot of times what I'll do at this point too is you can kind of see, like, you know, this junk grows in over your ears from not having a haircut after a couple weeks. Trim that up too. This is what I would use for that. Yeah, and this is what I do, man. This is the way you kind of see, and it just evens it out, cleans it up. You know, makes you the guy that a chick will see and say, hey, maybe I could date a guy with a beard. Or you go to work and they're like, hey, maybe beard guys aren't just a bunch of dirty weirdos. I don't know. That's the kind of guy I want to be. I want to be the guy that's making them think. So anyways, that's it. Now let me show you this real quick. Here's my sink. There's not a lot of hair in there because you're not doing a lot of hair removal. The point of trimming isn't to take a lot off. The point of trimming is to make it look the way you want it to. So, this is basically the way I want it to look. I might come in and do a little more over the next couple of days. Not much, but I see there might just be a couple of little spots. But nothing that anybody but me is going to notice. So it's always a work in progress, and that's what living the beard's all about. It's not about having perfection all the time. It's a work in progress. It's a process, man. Get with it. Alright. Well, if you stuck this whole video out, thank you very much. This is my whole process. I've shared it a lot of times with guys looking for advice on trimming and how to look better, how to have the business beard, if you will. And yeah, it's very simple. It doesn't take 30 minutes like the video does. This usually takes me maybe 10 minutes. Once you get good at it, you get your combs going on, everything. It's very simple. And also I kind of let it go for a few weeks to do the video. So, if you kind of keep it up every week, it's nothing. It's definitely less than shaving. Anyways, alright. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.